This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Time to talk politics. Last night, President Donald Trump gave his first State of the Union speech to Congress. I caught up with U.S. Representative French Hill for his reaction. Well, on Tuesday night, President Donald Trump gave his first State of the Union speech as president. I am joined now by Congressman French Hill from Washington, D.C. for a little reaction. Congressman, good to have you with us. I want to hear what your first, most positive takeaway was from the speech that you heard on Tuesday night.
Well, Roby, thanks for the invitation. I thought Donald Trump delivered an aspirational speech that talked about his vision for the future and was a good speech in terms of its attempt to bring both sides of the political spectrum together for some joint objectives, which is a good national security plan that works for our country and an economic policy program that'll produce more jobs and more and faster economic growth.
Was there any negatives that you heard in terms of, did you hear something that you didn't particularly like?
Well, I think there are issues with President Trump's approach to trade that will require really careful work with the Congress and in the executive branch itself on how you do get trade deals that work for the American worker and for our American economy, and yet recognize that we're in a global economy where trade is essential. You know the talking point, 95% of the world's customers are outside the United States. And we've worked for 30 years to integrate production in North America between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, and some 300,000 Arkansans are connected to that Canadian and Mexican trade. So I'm not, it's not a negative thing from the speech, but it's something I think that's going to take careful policy work to get right.
As Congressman French Hill, you can catch much more of his interview on Sunday's edition of Talk Business and Politics. A short break. We're back with our top stories of the day. I'm Roby Brock. This is Talk Business.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
Well, there was no shortage of action at the state capitol and a few stories in the banking world that caps our top stories of the day. An Arkansas Senate committee voted Wednesday to let Arkansans use medical marijuana, but not to let them smoke it or buy it in edible form, while a House committee voted to enact a 4% privilege tax on marijuana cultivators and distributors. The Senate Public Health Committee declined to endorse a bill that would have required the state to delay implementation of medical marijuana until marijuana is legal in the United States. Bills that alter the medical marijuana amendment approved by voters in November require a 2/3 majority. Representative Greg Leding and 10 other sponsors will file a bill in the Arkansas legislature that expands the state's Civil Rights Act to include sexual orientation and gender identity. The measure is similar to a bill that was filed in the 2015 session. Leding tells Talk Business and Politics that it's important to send a signal to the LGBTQ community that there are legislators who support them. He also thinks it sends a strong signal to business interests that Arkansas is inclusive and is looking for diversity. Read more on all of these legislative stories at talkbusiness.net. Big River Steel officially opened today, the state's first super project, a $1.3 billion steel mill located in Mississippi County, had two governors on hand for the announcement, Governor Asa Hutchinson and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. In opening for business, Big River Steel also announced that it has been LEED certified based on sustainability and energy efficiency. Read more at talkbusiness.net. Lafayette, Louisiana-based Iberia Bank, which has more than 40 branch locations and mortgage offices across the state of Arkansas, announced plans to acquire Miami-based Sabadell United Bank from Barcelona, Spain owners in a stock and cash deal valued at more than $1 billion. It pushes Iberia Bank ahead of Bank of the Ozarks and Arvest Bank in asset size among Southeast regional banks. Finally, Windstream's results fell into negative territory in the fourth quarter, but company officials on Wednesday said they're still upbeat as the Little Rock Telecom begins a new chapter in its history with the $1 billion acquisition of Atlanta-based Earthlink. That closed earlier in the week. For the period ended December 31st, 2016, Windstream reported a net loss of $87 million compared to a profit of $141 million in the same period a year ago. And those are our top stories of the day. You can keep up with many other reports from us on a daily basis at our website at talkbusiness.net. That's all for today's program. We'll see you tomorrow.